everybody, and welcome back to the New Nasty Boys. I'm your co-host this morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you decide to watch or listen to this thing, Billy DeVore, and sitting next to me is my co-host,
Chris Weir! What's up, Nasty Nation? Welcome to Binski's Bar! Thanks for coming!
Yeah, we're not in the fart dunge or the queef cave. We're at Binski's, baby.
Hell yeah.
We're doing it. We're doing it right. How are you, pal?
I'm doing just delightful. It's an early afternoon here. We already got a beer cracked. I'm drinking some nice, freshly tapped old style here, so it's going to be a nice day.
I'm feeling it. I'm with you. I think I'm just going to roll last night into today and then be asleep at Great American Ballpark by 7:35.
Hey, buddy, it's not only is it going to be a great day for baseball, it's also a great day for Billy. It is Billy's birthday, everybody. How about that? Oh, we're going to shower him in chili later.
I turned 34 today, the most meaningless birthday of all time. I'm still in my early 30s, approaching my mid-30s, like, will my colon survive?
No.
No,
The answer is no.
We have a guest today.
Yeah, we do.
Guys, from the Son Ranto Show, it's Danny Rockett.
Hey, everybody. Hey. Captain Danny Rockett to you, sir.
I'm sorry.
Did you see the hat?
You're right. I'm sorry. I forgot about your ranking. Good thing I'm Admiral DeVore of the Red Legs 51st Unit.
Aye.
Oh, boy. Well, thanks for being here. We had a great time with you last weekend.
Well, I'm happy that I'm here, but I'm not happy that the Cubs are here. So it's not going as well. I think I might enter them in the meat raffle maybe next Friday because that team is ground beef right now.
Yeah, so we're really happy they're here right now. It's not about who you play, it's when you play them, and right now is chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's working out for both teams because the Reds were just going through that anemic period recently. So we really appreciate the timing that you guys chose to come and visit.
Yeah, you're very welcome. No, it's been rough. I mean, the Cubs had a terrible May. June's not starting out too much better. We've lost 4 or 5 to the Reds now, and it's just like if the Cubs can't win in the division, which they haven't been able to, like it's going to be a long, bleak season.
Yeah,
an expensive, long, bleak season because it's $230 million payroll and $100 bleacher tickets. So like $20 beer, $30 beer bat. What'd you pay? 37 or no?
Dude,
$37 a beer bat or something like that.
Two beer bats full of oil style. Full of old style was $77.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Old style.
Yeah, I believe you can buy the Old Style factory for slightly more money than that.
I think that's what it costs to actually do a proposal on the field at Wrigley.
Yeah.
$77.
Actually, it's $77,000. The Rockets know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do. They put a mediocre product on the field.
Yep.
That with a bunch of kind of names that you've sort of heard of, a bunch of like B players, B plus maybe, and hope for the alchemy from there. But they will not. We have no stars on our team.
Yeah.
The development has been kind of hit and miss. They've actually missed on a bunch of guys that they let go, like Jeremiah Estrada, who's like setting records in San Diego. They just DFA'd that dude last year. Meanwhile, we have a bullpen that blew like 8-10 games. So yeah, we're in town. We're limping into this thing. The fans are freaking out because Cub fans are completely unreasonable at all times. But
well, I mean, that's why you call your fans the ranters. It makes sense.
Exactly. So it's been a disaster of a year. If it's not one thing, it's another. And so you're very welcome that we're here right now.
In fairness, the game that we did go and watch, the Reds did lose in some epic fashion. There was a grand slam hit.
It took like Hunter Green hitting like 5 guys because you couldn't get a grip on the baseball. It took absolutely a wild game that we accidentally won, I think, is what happened. Anybody could have won that one. That was not a real game. Shouldn't have been played, really.
I agree with you. And it was a lot closer because of Seiya Suzuki literally dropping the ball. So, yeah, that was a wash. I kind of remember that game.
Well, you were there.
I physically was there.
Yeah.
You were hovering above your body, dude. Like, you were in epic fashion. I love it. He was clamping beer bats together, hollering at everybody, just in his element. Cubs fans were cowering around you.
Yeah, I flipped off a few of them. It was pretty great. Just sitting. One of the things I remember was sitting next to Captain Cubbo. And I was just like, so what do you do? And then I just don't remember a lot of it.
If you don't know, Captain Cubbo is a human action figure.
He's the man. He's got like full armor that says Cubs and stuff. He's got a mask, like he's incognitus. He's just the Bruce Wayne of Wrigley Field.
Yeah, Roberto Ramos is his mild-mannered reporter name. But the dude is incredible. He designs all these different crazy Cubs costumes that make him look like a Cubs superhero. And then, he walks around the ballpark, and of course, like everybody wants to take a picture with him and stuff. But he's like dead serious. He had a samurai mask at Granterfest last weekend that he entered in the contest. Like, the dude is a really talented artist, and obviously a big Cubs fan. He grew up across the street from Wrigley Field, like as a child, and there is his claim to fame was like he got on WGN as a kid because he saw a ball that was hit by Dave Kingman in 1978 or something like that, and he saw it on TV. He goes, "That's heading towards my house." And he ran down from the third floor in time to run out, grab the baseball, and get it. And then the local news came to his house. So we're still looking for this footage of Roberto Ramos, currently Captain Cubbo as a child, across the street. So the dude's like just epic in many a fashion. Cub fans burn a little hotter.
And then he became a superhero after the next home run ball hit and killed his family.
That is his.
It took a dark turn.
That's his origin story. It is.
Yeah.
The baseball broke his mom's pearls. It was a whole thing. But we have superheroes at Great American Ballpark. We have 4 dirty Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles karaokeing Eminem. It's really cool. So those are our heroes, and truly, thank you for your service, Donatello and crew. Did I forget the other 3's names? Yeah, I did. So, well, guys, I promised in promoting this that we were going to drink chili out of our beer bats. And guess what? It's happening. We're doing it. So I'm trying to think here. Should we just funnel up top and get a slow chili drip?
Oh, my God.
I know, that's pretty gross.
The chili.
Or should we do the pitcher of
I
chili?
think visually we can probably pop the top and pour it in the funnel directly into the bat. Does that seem to be right? Or
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, great. I am going to crack this chili, and then I'm going to fill yours up, because then, forehand better than 2.
I'm using an away bat. This is the Wrigleyville one we got last week.
Okay.
I'm
Thanks
so
to Danny,
thankful that there are only 2 cans of chili and only 2 bats.
I mean, you wanted to.
I'm like, oh, good. They don't expect me to do this. This is awesome.
God, I'm not putting you through this.
I win again. I might have lost last night, but I'm winning today.
Yeah, you're definitely winning by abstaining
you
here.
just have a good head start.
Dude, my heart is already burning.
As it should. Oh, see.
Just look.
Oh my God.
Dear
Oh
Lord.
my God. Hold on, I gotta just take a.
Oh, yeah,
I gotta
there
take
it
some
goes.
photographs of this.
Oh, yeah, look at the side. Look at that drip, baby.
Look at the legs on that.
A good 2024 batch here.
That's a good year.
It's been house aged, honestly.
Grew in a local vineyard. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I got.
It's been cellared. Here we go. This is great for an audio podcast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I can describe what's happening. Billy is now
Gloopy,
pouring a
gloopy.
pitcher of chili into a Wrigley Field beer bat.
Hold on.
And it's
Side
kind of having
pour.
trouble getting down the side. It's
Look out. We got some drippage.
Oh god. Oh god.
it's dripping down the side. See, the problem with the beer bat, of course, is it's a little bit more narrow than.
Do I switch sides now? Okay.
Yeah.
God.
Classic
Yeah.
problem.
You know what? We should have done
Well,
this in R&D before we just go straight to field testing.
Well, why aren't you using the spout end of it instead of the side end?
Oh, damn it.
We did have the funnel.
You got the
but-
funnel too. Like maybe the funnel would actually work because that's some pretty thin
You know
chili.
what? I think I'm not going to need to chug the whole thing.
Well, we're not chugging.
No, you gotta chug
Speak
the
for
whole
yourself.
chili. I think
There we go.
There you go. It is the funnel really was. I was skeptical about the funnel working, but the Cincinnati Chili does have a pretty thin consistency. It's more of a meat sauce, which people don't. In Chicago they don't understand that. They're like, their chili's gross. I'm like, well, you don't eat a bowl of it. You could, but you're supposed to put it on spaghetti. They don't understand.
Yeah, it's white trash bolo.
Yeah. Exactly.
What do you mean this is white trash?
Yeah.
Come on.
What are you talking
Chugging chili out of a bat before, what time is it, 1?
Yeah, it's 1:32 in the afternoon, and this is...
It's way past time to be chugging chili out of bats.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm not driving, don't worry.
This is a brunch activity. Oh, yeah.
Crack that chili, baby.
Oh, God.
Oh,
This is something, huh? Oh, boy.
So I should have been getting this one ready while you were doing that one.
You know, we live and we learn.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. The chili.
Billy, I don't think that's true in your case somehow. We live and learn. Like, I've never seen you learn a thing from any mistake you've ever made. especially when it comes to food. I see you make error after error after error. It's basically like the Cubs catchers, just.
Yeah, this is gonna go great. Here we go.
The chili is being funneled into the Cincinnati beer bet. Now, is this going to be a race eventually? Is it you guys going to race?
A race to the bathroom.
I'm not talking about later. I'm talking. No, you guys are going to race each other with.
I don't think I can do that. This is more like a ceremonial thing.
Yeah,
I gotcha. All right.
This is something I've just dreamt of doing, and now I've gone to sleep. I'm floating in the clouds, and then a can of Skyline Chili approaches me, and then I look down and I got a beer bat in the hand, and I just pour it, and then I wake up in a cold sweat and horny. So
I'm a boxer sleep.
did I just do night ejac? Okay. There it is.
Oh, I like this.
We are
all right, everybody,
full of chili.
fire up your cameras because
Dude, this genuinely feels right.
That's a nice weight to it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Should we top it off with some old style? No. Okay. All right. Cheers, brother. Oh boy.
Well, hire.
Oh God.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah, get it all. Suck it down.
Are you
Now,
good?
I got to tell the listeners at home that people listening just the audio of this is that these are uncooked cans of chili. Not that you have to cook them. Yeah, they're
Room temp. They're ready to fly.
yeah, but they're not warm.
Yeah, look at the legs on the side of the bat now, dude. Look at that.
It's kind of hard to chug chili. It's just too chunky, right? I mean,
No.
It's got a loose viscosity to it. It's not bad. This is your basic house chili. You can drink it.
House chili. Well, there's no chugging here. This is meant to be sipped and enjoyed,
Yeah, this is a nice cognac situation. I'm gonna swirl it around.
oh my God.
Oh my God, I want to have a rough night.
This is exactly how I wanted to spend my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is it.
By the way, this is not brought to you by Skyline Chili.
No.
no, they would not sponsor this event for some reason.
Brought to you by
I don't know.
Pepto-Bismol.
Their reputation.
I'm telling you now, when I tag Skyline, they are going to immediately remove the tag.
Getting blocked so fast.
So fast. So like, can you please stop doing this with our product? You put it on everything.
We get a bidet to sponsor us.
Oh my God, dude, if I could get Tushy to sponsor this podcast, Toto, come on. Dude.
Squatty potties? Come on.
We're really promoting colon health, so, I mean, it makes sense. I almost took my finger to just get this chili off the table and lick it, and then I looked over and was like, I have a fucking full bat of it. Good. I
Get
don't
that bump, man. Rub it on the gums.
The thing that's rough about the beer bats in general, and it's the same when you have beer in them, is that you can't put them down. Like if you have a cup holder, they don't fit in a cup holder, they're too thin at the bottom.
Yeah.
So you're just forced to carry this thing around until you're done drinking it, And so you're stuck with that chili till it's done, pretty much. Unless you
Can someone hold
Go
my
dump
chili
it
while I go to the bathroom? You do feel like royalty. Like, you feel better than when you're just standing around with a big beer bat. Huzzah! Huzzah!
Yeah.
I am the ruler of this chili land, and you are my cheese subjects.
I'm trying to think what the Chicago equivalent of putting, what would I put in a beer bat? Like, I can't put a beef sandwich in a beer
It's just full of au jus.
Yeah, just au jus. Drink that. Drink that.
I would do that. Next time
I
we're
know
in
you
Chicago, we'll go to Big Al's and be like, I just need a bunch of au jus. Be like, how much? And then I pull up the bat.
Fill
You
the.
know that much? You put some onions in there too?
Please.
Well, this is horrifying.
It's going to take a whole
It tastes like chili. That's what it tastes like.
I mean, it's exactly as advertised. It is a beer bat full of chili, and yes, it is stuck in my teeth. It's really good. And then room temp's fine. You know,
Room temp is okay.
Yeah, this is just like a warm gazpacho. You know?
You don't need to put the beer bat in the microwave.
Just melt and fold it on each other. Oh boy. Well,
Where do we go from there?
I think we got to talk about baseball.
Okay.
God, I'm so fucking full already. This was a good call. I didn't have breakfast, so this works. So, as Danny said, we started a 4-game series against the Cubbies. Thursday was pretty cool. Friday was pretty cool. And hopefully Saturday's pretty cool and Sunday's pretty cool, but
That'd be pretty cool.
that'd be pretty cool. Get on in here. Pop a squat. Look
Dive
at
on
this.
in. We got some
We got
room.
seats. Here we
Wrigleyville
go.
Bauman family's here.
Yeah.
Welcome. Just to give you a quick little recap, we did do the chili pour into the beer vats.
Yeah.
It's happened.
It's all right. We'll be passing
to
some
catch
around
you
later.
up, They're chugging chili
We're
from
chugging
beer bats.
chili. I mean, what do you expect? Not much. No, you're good. So yeah, Hunter Green had a pretty solid start for not being on his game on Thursday.
I think so. And looking at his pitch mixes there, we were talking a lot about him getting to work in the third pitch, the splitter. And at first, if he was ever throwing like 4 splitters in a game, that seemed to be like a good high watermark for him. Now he's got what, like a baker's dozen or something like that, even higher?
He threw 17 splitters and 4 curveballs.
That's amazing because we're talking about him being more effective with his fastball by the fact that he's setting up a splitter at the end.
Yeah, exactly. And what also he was doing was getting ahead and just going like, I'm going to throw 100 down the pipe and then see what you can do, because they might be guessing off speed because now he's throwing both of those enough to confuse people off the rip. So he's getting ahead in counts early and then just working the top and bottoms of the zone.
Yeah, just knowing when to let the big dog eat and knowing how to really set up batters.
Yeah.
Really dig it. He's becoming a lot more of a pitcher in the past few weeks.
Yeah, not just a gas hurler. He went 6 2/3, 4 earned runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 8 Ks. That's not a great line, but like I said, he wasn't fully on his game, and it still worked out for him.
Yeah, that was something else we're talking about, is just adjusting in the game to figure out, like, okay, I don't have my A game right now, but figure out how to adapt and get your B stuff to get you through into the 6th, 7th inning.
Exactly. He's like, what do I use? Okay, well, the splitter was working, and he was mixing it in. Like, he would go slider, splitter, slider in some attack at some points where it's just like, oh, he really is feeling this today. So, just wonderful to see. What did you think of him?
I mean, I'll tell you what the Cubs thought of him.
Yeah.
They couldn't really hit him. I mean, he had the 8 strikeouts, like you mentioned. They've been, and yesterday was the same thing with Lodolo. They're just striking out a lot more, and they only got really 2 pitches that they could do anything with. Suzuki hit a 2-run homer. Morel hit a 2-run homer, and then that's all they did. They had 5 hits in the whole freaking game. So, that game that the Cubs won the weekend before at Wrigley Field, that was against Hunter Green. I think that if Hunter Green does not have to pitch in the driving rain that night, that he probably does the same thing to us that night as well.
Yeah.
Because the dude's obviously talented, and it seems like year after year, he's putting it together more and more, because before, wasn't it that you never knew where the ball was kind of going? And
For sure. And it seemed like players were sitting on certain pitches and locations. Now it definitely seems like he's made a noticeable evolution in his game.
Oh, yeah.
And
Like,
that's about adding another pitch, right?
Correct. Yes.
adding 2 with the splitter and curveball. I mean, curveball he only threw 4 times, but it's still the threat of being there. And that's just enough to throw them off, and instead of, the trend in baseball right now with the just fastball slider stuff, which you saw a lot with Graham Ashcraft, and that didn't really fucking work out.
Yeah.
So
We'll get to that later.
we'll get to that one later. But, it was so good to see, and I'm excited for his next outing. he did just make 2 mistakes, and they were both at the top of the zone, and Morel pounded that one into center field.
Well, he's one of the only guys on the Cubs that can really catch up to velocity. You know, he's always waiting on the fastball, and he can turn it around real fast. But he's one of the few threats that we even think we have on the team to even do that. You know,
Well, he's top 5 in bat speed in all of baseball.
and he's been really unlucky recently. Like bat speed is there, but also is just like the barrel rate, and so he's barreling up balls. He's hitting them hard, but they're ending up in gloves a lot of the time.
Yep.
So, that's either he's got a super low BABIP. So do with that what you will.
Yeah.
It's either bad luck or they just know exactly where he's going to hit it. And there's that too. So it's 110 miles per hour off the bat right to the second baseman.
Right.
Then,
That was the same thing that was happening with Tyler Stevenson.
I was just going to say that Tyler Stevenson, Steer, they're just having, hitting the ball well, barreling it, especially Tyler. It just wasn't landing. So that's just kind of how baseball goes sometimes.
Well, and I do wonder, the rumor out there right now is the ball is deader this year. And that a lot of guys are saying balls are like ending up on the warning track that they thought for sure was gone. And I wonder if the second half of this season is going to be a little bit more dudes like trying to place the ball where they want it as opposed to selling out for the power, because they're not going to get it over the fence anyway, so why hit a lazy fly ball at the warning track?
Or on June 1st, they switched out the balls because we've had a massive increase in offense.
Yeah, jeez.
Since the beginning of June. We were listening to Eno Saris talk about it.
Right.
It was like, we're probably going to see this happen June 1. And sure as
There's
shit,
yeah.
it happened.
Yeah.
Is it just like the type of ball specifically, or is it the way they're kind of like, I guess, curing them or leaving them in humidifiers, or this way they...
Before it was about the stitches being being slightly tighter on the ball, and so there was like millimeters. But then when they hit it, it had less drag. Like this, remember back in 2019 when we were playing with the Super Balls?
Oh.
Yeah.
So they've been tinkering with the balls for forever.
Yeah.
And so, you got the players talking about it. The pitchers were getting all these blisters for a while. So they keep going back and forth. Sometimes you wonder if it's Yankees, Red Sox. Let's throw them some Super Balls for the weekend and let's have some fun. Are they doing that stuff? I wouldn't put it past them because we always catch them in the shenanigans later. And then they're like, oh, they would never do that. Yes, they would. They will do it, and they will continue to do it. So, I don't know. I think what they said, that the reason that they tried to do it this time was to make it so that the pitches couldn't move as much, because all these dudes were, cutting it and throwing I don't know what you'd call it, the sweeper, and so, but they're all doing that, and they're trying to make it sweep less because it's too hard to hit. But either way, batting averages have been down this year, even with all the changes they're trying to tinker with.
Sure. I haven't felt the ball from this year. I have one from 18, that super year that got Yelich that long contract. It's you definitely feel how it's a smoother ball and the seams are lower. Like that thing, you could spin it and get it out of here if you hit it right. So, and then moving on to the rest of the game, the bullpen for the Reds just came in and shut it down. Fernando Cruz got the hold, just came in, got the strikeout. Sam Maul looked great, and Alexis Diaz, little shaky to start. Started off with the walk, and then just came around and just struck out everybody else. So that's the difference between us and you, is our bullpen is so good. What? How do you not spend money this offseason and bring in some bullpen arms?
Well, they try to. They got heart attack Hector Neris, and the guy can't do anything unless the bases are loaded or something. He just needs that kind of. He likes too many walks, obviously from the Cubs. It's been tough. We lost Merriweather early in the season.
Right.
He was really the linchpin to the whole thing. A lot of velocity back at the end of it. Alzolay ended up hurt. And it's a funny story about we had in the clutch shirts. I said, hey Billy, we got this new Alzolay's the official closer. Everybody in Chicago is excited. He's doing this thing. Like what was the fist?
People's Fist.
The People's Fist. They said the People's Fist. I'm like, you got to make a shirt with the People's Fist. Within that day, I think you sent me the shirt. That day I go to the game. Alzolay doesn't come out as closer. Oh no, what happened to Alzolay? Well, he's been blowing games recently. It turns out he's hurt. So they did make this shirt the people's fist. Now it's just I don't know if it'll ever get released because
it's online. We have not sold any.
The one prototype has already been sent to a war-torn country. It's just the poor orphans there. But so our bullpen is in shambles. That's the point I'm trying to make, as was that shirt idea. And and nobody's stepping up. Neris, I guess at the back end, he had a lot of success with the Astros, but his velocity was down from last year. That was the knock on him. A lot of guys from AAA coming up trying to make a go of it, and that's got its learning curves to it every time. So it's very rare that a dude just comes up and pumps like his entire career. There's like a moment, like even if like we got a guy, Luke Little, lefty, throws hard, he's probably going to be really good. But can you put him in high leverage situation all the time? He does not have the experience to get through it. Is this the great time to get that experience? I guess, but we were promised better than this, so he needed to come up and be in the low leverage situations because you had Merriweather in there, but he got hurt. We didn't have a backup for the backup, and now I don't know where we are in blown saves, but it's got to be up there at least as far as beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
you guys are great, though. Yeah, congratulations on your.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. We're coming around, and it just took health to happen. But I mean, especially when you're young and you're put in those high leverage situations, it's a ton of failure, and we're even experiencing it watching Lucas Sims. I mean, we talked about it last week. I think half of his earned runs through the year, which at that point was 24, half of them 12 were in the 8th inning.
Something kind of curious to think about. We're trying to break that down to see like how much you can attach to that as being like something he can correct, or if it's just like one of those baseball things where like, oh no, this is just kind of a weird anomaly. But I think Billy's on the train of thinking like there is something to it being like always in the 8th.
Always in the 8th. Because that's just high leverage. You're put there, especially when you have runners on, you have to come in and relieve somebody else. You're kind of fucked there.
Or that thing when like this was happening, you guys scored a bunch of 2 outs last night, for example. Like that seems to be, anecdotally, that seems to be happening to us. You just can't close down the inning. And it happened the other night with a young guy on our team, Porter Hodge, who I think he got sent down right after this too. I'm not sure. I was traveling, but Porter Hodge came out, got hosed on a call. Should have been strike 3 or something like that. And then couldn't find the plate. Just could not get it back together. And that's what happens with the young guy. Like older guys, like, sometimes the umpires are blind. You just got to, go with it. But, that dude fell apart. And it just takes time with these dudes sometimes. Yeah.
I mean, and it happens. Just one thing can go wrong and it snowballs. Like we've seen it happen a couple times to Fernando Cruz. And, I mean, the guy's unhittable, should be an all-star this year. But guess what? Nobody's perfect, and eventually it all just falls apart. We're just fortunate to have enough guys that have experience, can turn it around, get in there, not let it bother them. And when you have a young bullpen, it starts to get shaky, and these are the results. And I just really sucks, man. Really sucks for you. I think it's cool.
And you guys are having a great time, so I just hope you enjoy the weekend as you sweep us.
No, that'd be great. Sweeping the mountains, sweep next to our dirty Chili River.
Maybe it'll teach them a thing or two, and people stop showing up at Wrigley and paying the exorbitant prices for their BS. Because that's what it's going to take. Till the fans stop showing up for it. What incentive does Tom Ricketts have to put a superstar team on the field? He doesn't have any, because these idiot fans will show up no matter what.
Regardless.
Wrigley's a gem.
Also the thing, like, you were expecting Bellinger to do what he did last year, again this year, and then again he's in another basically contract year because the opt-out, and he's not doing it. He hasn't gotten hot yet and really carried the team. Like he
was hurt too. Yeah, I mean, I was actually talking to the third man in the Cubs radio booth the other night. He came out. This guy Zach Zaidman. Yeah, and he was walking down the street and, hey Zach, what's going on? And he came over, and we were just shooting the shit about the Cubs, and he's like, the thing is, like, I know everybody thinks that these guys come back from injury, and now we got them back, and they're at full strength, but it's not how it works. If you've ever been hurt, any part of your body, And then you're like, okay, I'm good enough to do the thing I got to do, but it's not 100%. I mean, that's what these guys, I think, especially maybe all of them by the end of the year, nobody's 100%.
Right.
But if you're coming back from a real injury, like Seiya saw last night, Seiya Suzuki came out of the game because he had an oblique injury, and it just came up and bit him again last night. So, you know, these guys are dealing with this stuff. They're banged up, and that's what Zach was saying last night. So maybe some of the underperformance is kind of just not being 100%.
Right.
Chris Bryant's whole career was this. You know, it was.
No kidding. And now he's just out there like, I kind of regret signing with the Rockies. Like, no shit. You didn't want to go play for a franchise where the owner has no idea what's going on?
Yeah.
Cool.
Plus, their colors are purple. I mean,
Yeah, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
They basically look like Barney, you know.
Well, their mascot is a dinosaur.
Yeah, I know. They just leaned into it, didn't they?
Yeah.
I love Dino. Remember, was that 2 years ago or last year? Someone attacked the mascot. They tackled him when he was on top of the dugout.
Yeah.
He ran up, tackled him, and then the guy stood up and ran off. And I was like, wait, we got to find that guy and give him a medal.
Yeah.
Key to the city.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug, let me tell you.
So cool. Man, I miss it.
Well, chug the chili.
Drink
All
up.
right, a little chili time. I'll give you a little bit.
Danny brought up cocaine. Time to chug the chili.
Well, this was a great idea. I stand by it still.
Oh, baby.
Well over halfway, so.
What a way to spend your birthday.
It's pretty great. Yeah, talking about cocaine and now it's drinking chili out of a bat.
As you
Yeah,
do.
you know, it's crazy you're talking about injuries and stuff, how people recover. So I have plantar fasciitis. Wonder why. And
Just wait for the gout.
I'm pretty sure it's a lethal mix of both.
The plantar fasciitis is holding off the gout right now.
Plantar fasciitis is like, hold on, let me get my turn at it. And the gout's like, come on, dude, I've been waiting for years.
You just got a real bottleneck happening with all your diseases.
Yeah. It's like, dude, he's been eating asparagus and steak for years. We need the rich foods to take over his big toe. But no, like I'll go, like, you know, I'll feel good, and then I go for a walk, and I'm like, oh, there it goes. And I am not a professional athlete. I know, crazy. But it's just a thing that especially with obliques and backs, ribs, all this stuff, it takes a while, and especially too with like hands, which we've seen a lot of this with the Reds, with everybody pitching them inside just to try and get any type of advantage on this young offense that can explode at any time, which it just has recently. Like, it can fuck you for the long haul. I mean, it took Eugenio Suarez a year and a half to get over that shoulder injury from 2020. It's just time. So yeah, who knows, man? Maybe like you get some health, or you make some moves and see what you can do, because you have such a deep farm system that you could go and spend before the deadline if you wanted to. Do you think they'll do that?
It's really hard to say because there are so many teams bunched up right now.
Yeah.
And with the extra wild card spot, for example, this is a great example. So our catching situation has been abysmal. So both of them are batting under 200. We saw last night with the pass ball that kind of opened up that inning for you guys, scored a couple of runs. That was the game really right there.
Sure.
Letting in those runs. So the catching situation has been bad. They don't throw out anybody. It's 13% of runners. Like only the Mets were worse, I think. It's been abysmal. So everybody's like, oh, go trade for a catcher. And of course, everybody's magical trades. We get your best player and we give you Nick Magical. Like that's how everybody wants trades to work. And so you got to wonder, who the hell is going to trade us their good catcher?
No one.
And so there's like 4 or 5 teams that right now are out of it completely.
Sure.
And maybe the Rockies, everybody's saying Elias Diaz, we get him in here. Okay, so let's say for example, we can do that. Now you're saying to Miguel Amaya, who was your future, who you drafted high, who you've been working with for years, he had some injury problems coming out. You're saying we're done with you. You're in the backup spot. Elias Diaz is our guy. So you're kind of throwing him away. You're saying you're not our dude. Or you're not our future. You're kind of saying that at that point,
Right.
Yeah.
So whether you want to do that or not is another thing. The other problem with that is a catcher in the middle of the year. You got to learn the whole pitching staff.
Yep.
You've got to learn, not just the signs, but what these guys are throwing and get on. So that's going to take a little bit of time. So you got to do that now. So if you're going to do that now, what's that going to cost you?
Dude.
And everybody in the world knows you need it.
Yeah.
So, the Rockies are going to ask for a mint. Now, we got some guys. They're blocked in many respects.
Sure.
The outfielders. But, we're going to just unload everybody. We're going to give you Pete Crow Armstrong. We're going to give you Canario. We're going to give you Alcantara.
I also
what's
think
it going to cost?
You're giving the Rockies front office too much credit.
That's true. We could fleece them. Maybe we take the Chris Bryant contract off their hands
there
a little
you go.
bit, But they're right up at the luxury tax, which brings me to the major problem is they put a lot of money behind some pretty mediocre players. So it's like these dudes that we have just have to do better because they're already there. Like they can blow, like they're right at that first tier situation.
Yeah.
So if they blow through that, you might as well go to the second tier and spend $30 million. But I don't know if they've got the appetite for it.
I don't think they do because they went out and they spent a lot of money last year, and then this year the Shota deal is incredible. Who would have thought that was going to work out like it did?
But Dansby's batting 210 or something like that.
Well, he's regressed.
Yeah.
He's got his full contract. He's regressed right back to where he was when he was in Atlanta, which is why they didn't offer him the money to stay. It's crazy that you mentioned like how inept their offense is, and the Reds up through the month of May was fucking awful.
Yeah, that's one of the worst, just going through the numbers, just terrible.
Yeah, I think it was like me and Luke Maley had the same batting average for the month of May.
You had the same amount of RBIs.
Yeah, well, you know what? I drank more chili than him, I'll tell you that.
Very true.
I'll do it now!
There we go. Chili time.
Oh, baby. Get it. Oh, I can hear his heart from here.
Chili time.
Oh, throw it down, baby.
Chili time.
Now I'm starting to regret it.
Yeah.
It just
I didn't
hit.
think I
Oh,
feel.
yeah.
I'm
Should we put some
probably
more
gonna sit
crackers
next
in
to you
there
at
or
the game.
something?
Yeah. Did we bring hot sauce? I didn't bring any hot sauce. But I'm about to try and make a really poignant thing about comparing these two teams while chewing and drinking chili. It's not great. Let me at least get this down. There we go. We did it. You are up against the luxury tax threshold. We are not. Complete opposite, right? Our payroll is under $100 million. So far in the National League, the Cubs have the 10th overall offense, and the Reds have the 11th overall offense. The Cubs' overall WAR is 5, and the Reds is 4.9. Which shows, I think they just threw money to try and get people excited to fill holes and be like, look, we're making the effort.
I mean, this is how it used to be when I was a kid. They'd get some like washed up veteran that you'd heard of, and you'd be like, "Oh, look, we got George Bell on the team," or something like that. He was great with Toronto. Meanwhile, the dude's got no knee left. Come in, and he comes in, he has good half a year, then he's out for a month. And they've been doing that to us. And I won't say that that's what they're doing it to us now. What I call them is the travel ball boys.
Ooh, yeah.
So, they take a bunch of dudes who are slightly better than average and hope for the alchemy from that. So they gave Ian Happ a bunch of money. Ian Happ's a solid ball player. You're
Right.
going to build your is he a superstar? No. You look at I guess Bellinger had superstar potential, was an MVP, but his career kind of fell off. Seiya Suzuki, once again, like a B+ player. They throw a lot of money at these dudes. Dansby Swanson, right there as like a better than average player. Definitely a great defensive person. Nico Horner, go dude by dude. Every dude is like the third best guy at his position in the National League,
Right.
But there's not one of them that is the best guy at that position, So there's not that. So you got a bunch of above average, and it's just not quite enough because you got not that one dude. I look around and I see the little kids wearing the Ellie jerseys, man, and they love him. Now you can see him from the way back of the stadium, Ellie De La Cruz, and there's just this huge dude who is playing in this electric way. He plays shortstop, he hits the ball, he's fast, he's stealing bases, he's making things happen. We don't have somebody like that.
I'd say Morel's pretty close.
Sure, but he's batting 200, and even the Cub and his defense is certainly not where Ellie's is.
No.
He literally let in if Fielders had an ERA.
Yeah.
His ERA would be in like the 10s. You know, he lets in a lot of runs. Definitely a below average player at third base. But like, you know, it's just like we don't have any stars. And I don't know that you guys, except for Ellie, like maybe you don't either. But like, you know, it just feels like the Cubs for $230 million, you'd think you'd have a star,
and you don't.
We don't.
No.
Yeah.
I think similarly to the Cubs, the Reds in years past had just put enough talent on the field to give you a fighting shot of making it to the playoffs, but it wasn't until just recently, I feel. I mean, besides like Votto or something like that, where there was a clear, distinctive star of the team, or at least possesses that aura.
And we're coming from the land of Rizzo and Javi, and you know where those years, and I think that's still fresh in everybody's memory. So we're always going to be comparing anything we have now to that team. That team was extraordinarily healthy, and it was full of full-fledged dudes having the best years of their career, even though maybe those were the best years of their career in retrospect. You know, John Lester, Arietta. I mean, there were dudes on that team that were just, you know, a cut above, like gonna win MVPs, gonna win Rookie of the Years, gonna win Cy Youngs. We don't got anybody like that now.
No, well, that's because, you know, you guys built from within, got all those guys, made some smart moves to bring in Rizzo from San Diego.
San Diego, yeah.
Right? And drafted Javi, or signed an international signing.
We tanked.
You tanked. You did what you were supposed to do, and then this time, instead, they're just throwing money trying to build a core instead of doing it from within, and that's what the Reds did with the full teardown in 2022, and we rebuilt faster than anticipated.
And we were told we were going to have a fast rebuild, and you guys did it faster.
Yeah.
Because, you know, for way less money, you were way closer even last year. I mean, we both faded down the stretch. Neither one of us made the playoffs. But at the end, we were sitting there for that third wild card spot, which I believe is the goal for most teams now.
Yes.
Just get slightly above 500. Don't spend. Now we're spending big money and still getting right to where you guys are. Like you said, you gave the WAR numbers, so it's like. But I think that is the goal, to be just slightly. I don't think anybody's like looking to win 100 games because it doesn't matter anymore when the Diamondbacks can go to the World Series.
I also think it's a punishment to win 100 games and to win and be the number one overall seed in the postseason tournament.
You get the bye, you get
the bye
iced.
fucks you.
Yeah.
You get completely knocked out of rhythm. You've done this whole thing for 162 games, and it's like, hey, I need you to stop what you're doing for 5 days.
Yeah, and that's
minimum.
I mean, that's kind of what happened with Imanaga. They just did that to this guy. He's going to pitch tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he was rolling along, historic start. They're comparing him to Fernando Valenzuela, and we just decided to rest him for 2 starts. And then he came back out. He hasn't been the same since. And baseball's like that. You got to, when you're in that rhythm, you don't want to get out of it because, like, and it could be good or bad rhythms too. You get
We're all
good
creatures
streaks,
of
bad
habit.
streaks. Yeah,
That was the worst thing that happened to the Reds last season was the All-Star break, when they were actually on a nice run, doing well, and all of a sudden they had that break, came back, and just could not click again.
No. And that's when the starting pitchers dropped like flies.
Yeah.
And that's what really screwed us, and then didn't go for it at the deadline, looking at longevity over a 1-year run.
Yeah, you added a reliever or something.
Well, Sam Moll, that was a great move.
Sam Moll, yeah.
Yeah, he's been killing it. That was the only move they made.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
We were the same way. I think we just picked up 1 or 2 things, and it was minor. It was just like plugging in some holes.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Nobody's really going for it. And the other part of it is everybody thinks that they're going to get some trade deadline deal, and nobody's really willing to trade you because they're like, well, you know, our fans won't show up in August at all if we don't. If we just sell off every single year at the trade deadline.
Unless you're AJ Preller in San Diego, where it's just like, fuck it, all in every time.
Every year. Well, and there's teams like that will go for it, and that separates the haves from the have-nots a lot, Yeah,
I mean, the Padres in conversations to get Garrett Crochet, another starting pitcher from the White Sox.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting back like, maybe we'll see what happens. Both of our teams.
We traded him Yu Darvish, and they're still working with him. So and those dudes that we traded for, which was a massive just salary dump.
Yep.
When we did that, I mean, I think the one prize that might be from that is this guy Owen Casey maybe comes up this year, and this was a trade that happened 4 years ago. So teenagers, man, when we got him.
Yeah.
Lottery tickets at the time. So I don't know where the help is coming from. So I don't know you guys. I mean, imagine you have some pieces that you could trade and upgrade some positions. I say catcher,
much.
we need a new catcher. Easier said than done. What would you upgrade from, or do the dudes you have, these young guys, just need to play better?
Here's where the upgrade comes from. They come off the IL.
Seriously, like most of our pieces that I don't think we could trade for pieces that wouldn't be coming back to us that are at least equivalent to the productivity that they would have. So we got CES, we got Noelvi Marte coming back, not from injury but suspension. So I think we'll be filled. There we go.
Oh yeah, the PD clap, baby.
Yeah. He was just clapping with his breasts together. But yeah, we do have pieces that are going to make the team better. So it's not a similar situation where it was last year, where it was just like, okay, we can go out and get some people because we don't have the pieces that we're looking for. Whereas this year, it's just like so many of the components that was supposed to get us into and deep into playoffs have just been on the IL.
Yeah, just completely out.
And you look at the standings, I mean, Cubs are in second. Well, actually, we're tied for second. We have the identical records, 200-500, 31-33. But St. Louis has played 2 less games. They've got the same winning percentage at 484. Mm-hmm. And then Pittsburgh, they've just lost 1 more game than St. Louis. So really, between the 4 of it, Milwaukee's running away with it right now. They're 6.5 up. That could change quickly, though.
Yes.
But we are all within half a game of each other, the rest of the entire division. So, it's competitive.
Yeah.
It's real competitive.
And then look at the wild card. It's all bunched up. There's 3 teams tied for that last spot. Us, and then the Padres.
Yeah, and only Colorado and Miami are quote-unquote out of it, and that's 8.5 games.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
As opposed to I just have to bring this up, being a Chicagoan and a Cubs fan, as opposed to the White Sox, who are already 17 and a half games out of the wild card.
Hey, they just put an end to a 14-loss skid there, so watch those words.
Speaking of skid.
Baby.
Hey, Chris.
Okay.
Too much in there, buddy.
I don't know how I avoided this, but it's just Billy is kind to me, or he could only afford 2 cans of chili on a comedian's salary.
I only had 2 cans of chili. Oh man, this is something. I think it made Joey and his family sick.
Yeah, I can't really watch this anymore. I was
not
not told about the chili bats before I walked in this room with my family. This is a family show.
Man, we're talking about cocaine, chili, same thing. They both give you the shits.
Joe's been listening to the Son Ranto Show for a while, so I've softened him up to this kind of activity.
Crazy? Cocaine and chili both cut with baby laxatives.
Very true.
Oh boy, that is something. We've been just bumping around on here. It's kind of crazy.
Well, yeah, we should maybe talk about last night. I mean,
yeah, we should probably go to that. Dude, Nick Lodolo was so gross last night. Nick Lodolo, boy,
looking
howdy.
great.
6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 homer, which was the 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Now I'm telling you, I was 2 rows behind home plate. I was watching him warm up in those shadows, and I had a hard time even tracking the ball.
Really?
Dude, it was so nasty.
I bet. And they're wearing like the black uniforms too. I'm sure it has like another layer of effect of just even picking up the ball.
Oh yeah, it was mean. It was just mean what he did. Watching that curveball break back foot when you're that close, I'm like, how do you even try? you know?
Well, the Cubs weren't trying.
Clearly.
Because they went, first of all, they had Patrick Wisdom as their leadoff hitter, which is just like, everybody was like, all right, what's Craig smoking? Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't know if it's ever happened. And if it did, it maybe happened once or twice. But maybe they're trying to get him going. Sometimes they'll do that, get a guy going that way. But, oh, my God, you know, he's normally a DH bench bat, and there he is in the leadoff spot. He struck out, I believe, 3 times last night, at least twice. He struck out the side in the first inning. The Cubs just flailing away. And we can't hit lefties at all.
And he's a lethal one.
Yeah, I looked it up this morning. Cubs against righties, they have the 9th best OPS. Against lefties, 8th or 9th worst OPS. So it's like we haven't been able to do it all year, and I don't know what that's about because we seemingly have good right-handed hitters. But oh my God, it's just not working out at all.
We're in the same camp. We can't hit lefties.
No, we do flip the lineup around depending on that, which has just been something David Bell has been implementing a whole lot, is specific lineups for, you know, lefty and right, which is not uncommon. But yeah, that's definitely something that is a bit of an Achilles heel to us sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we only had 5 hits last night.
Yeah, well, it didn't matter because we had got no catcher, and so, you know.
Oh, my God.
And we got an extra out there, too, that one inning.
A few. I mean, those rolling by, you know, it's. I feel for you guys.
It's tough, and Michael Bush hasn't been real strong at first. I've been calling him Brick Hands Bush over there. And on the corner, Christopher Morel, I already mentioned him. It's been, you know, we like to see him learning the position, but to do it in front of us is really been brutal at times. And so up the middle, we've been good, but those guys have been hurt. But, like, yeah, last night was just kind of like a microcosm. Like, I think you guys had 2 runs and 1 hit to start it out, and you're like, but it's not one thing if it's another.
Right.
And we were promised a really defensive juggernaut. And, you know, last night the defense lost the game.
Yep. You're not getting it. And, I mean, what's crazy, too, is Ellie De La Cruz is second in defensive outs valued above replacement at shortstop. Like, we were thinking, like, man, you know, maybe he'll stay afloat at shortstop. No, he's thriving over there.
He's looking way more smooth. He's feeling comfortable, and also too at the plate. So a lot of that is trending in the right direction for him. And I mean, he's been making some super stellar plays I have not seen made to that degree before. That ball, he made that Derek Jeter style throw.
Sheesh, in left field.
Yeah, that was insane.
Dude, and like when Derek Jeter would do the jump throw, it's like, oh, look, he's a little behind second. Ellie's doing it from the like third baseline. He could just take a seat, hang out with some fans, eat some nachos, and chuck that thing.
And then run over and catch it at the same time. It's just unbelievable.
He covers a lot of ground.
He really does.
The only thing defensively for the Reds that's a liability is Candelario.
Yeah, he's been having some brick hands as well out there.
Yeah. And he's like -6 in defensive outs above replacement or whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely been his weaker spot. Anybody's been hitting now, but in the field, that is like a definite downgrade. As when we're planning on having Matt McClain in there and Noel V.
Oh, stop!
I know, I'm edging you.
Oh God.
Well, no, he goes. Gonna chug it. All right, I gotta chug with you.
I mean, you guys weren't necessarily promised to be a defensive juggernaut, but when I looked up the stats the other day on the Son Ranto Show on Thursday night, you have fewer errors than the Cubs do. You have a higher defensive efficiency ratio than the Cubs do. I mean, we were promised, this is going to be a pitching and defense kind of team, and it was like, where?
We also have more fans drinking chili out of bats.
Yeah, you guys
a lot more. That's a metric that Fangraphs needs to figure out.
Or Chili Babbitt.
They're Chili Babbitt. Chili Babbitt.
Yeah, we just play with garbage in the bleachers. We like stacking cups.
And you like to go and break it up.
We just love touching each other's spit. You know, it's like we are determined that the next time there's a pandemic, it's coming from the Wrigley Field bleachers.
Yeah, the cup snake fell apart, and everyone just started spitting in each other's mouths.
Yeah, we're getting a wet market going out there. I'm telling you, we're like biting the heads off bats just to see what can. We're practicing on these bats, and then we're moving on to real bats later.
Sounds good.
God, I'm sorry. I just thought about someone bringing in their own bat. BYOB at Wrigley Field.
Hey, ever since they got rid of the metal detectors and went with the full body scan, they're not noticing live animals. They're just not.
No.
They're not. You're going to get anything in there now.
We got to bring snakes into Great American Ballpark.
Yeah.
That's what we got
Let's make it happen.
Hey,
The Cincinnati
9/11 was a long time ago. They don't care.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. Well, Chili, back of the throat. Looking at Lodolo's pitch mix last night, though, heavy four-seamer, that thing, when it up close, that's got a little wiggle to it. You know, a little left and right. Curveball, back foot to righties, you know, away from lefties was working. He was hitting that same spot, really tunneling that thing, and then threw in the changeup every once in a while.
That surprised me. He threw that a lot more than what I anticipated because, you know, trying to get these pitches away from being a 1-2, like just having like two primary pitches. I think, you know, we're just talking about Hunter Green, but Lodolo is definitely amping up like the numbers that he's thrown for his second and third pitch.
Yeah, 44 fastballs, 32 curveballs, 16 changeups.
Boy, howdy.
Boy, howdy. You love to see it. Really fucking around with it. And then also got 4 whiffs on 32 of those curveballs. You want to see a little bit more, but no matter what, he's still got 7 Ks.
Yeah, he did really well. I mean, he was at 99 pitches. I felt he could have gone like a little bit more, but he was going deeper into counts.
Yes.
And just kind of like something we were talking about before with Green and like the baseballs. He's the type of pitcher that doesn't use like any sticky stuff. He's just like, he's all dry. He's a dry finger boy.
Dry fingering. He definitely doesn't spit in his teammates' mouths.
Yeah. It's not
dirty.
fun at parties. No.
Yeah, and he was getting in high into counts because he was hunting strikeouts, which is like a difference between watching like Green now and Lodolo last night was sometimes Green has learned to pitch to contact. You look up and it's like, oh, he just went 7 innings, but only 3 strikeouts?
Yeah.
But he went 7 innings because he was getting a lot of weak contact.
Yeah, he's not chasing the radar gun. He's like, I'm going to throw you 97 in, get you to ground out, and then or just like throw a slider off the plate, get you to pop out.
Yeah, and eventually we'll see Lodolo get that longevity by starting to do that. But again, that was his 7th start of the year. So I think we'll see that evolve the longer he keeps going throughout the season. If he stays healthy.
I think we got it. We got it this year, baby.
We got it. And then Nick Martinez came in, shut the door. Same with Justin Wilson. Then Alexis Diaz. That was scary.
It was something I'm noticing with Diaz when he comes in like in an actual like closing situation. I mean, he is better, but in terms of his issues, I think it's with his. I'm a righty here, but I feel like his hand is sliding underneath the ball a little bit because his stuff starts to tail away out of the zone.
Yes.
So I do think it's a release point with him, and you'll see it get corrected sometimes. But I do see that it just keeps sliding out, and his stuff that's a bit more finesse just kind of travels more than what he's used to.
Yeah, I could see that last night because then that's when DJ went out and he was like, hey, you're doing the thing with your hand. And he was like, see. And then he left. He left. And then he corrected it, course corrected. And it worked out. And he only gave up 1 run.
Bueno.
Muy bueno. Si, senor.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
And here comes the chili. Yeah, there were some. Diaz did have a few uncompetitive pitches last night, unlike your competitive chili eating, which is very competitive. But you guys know that Justin Wilson, he was a former Cub one time. His claim to fame in Cub fandom is that one time during a mound visit, he told Anthony Rizzo to shut up.
That's great.
Because Anthony Rizzo is just a pussy. He's just going out there, well, what if we do this? What if we do that? And then Justin Wilson just goes, shut up. And it was like the best.
I love it.
Yeah, it became a gif. Like it was been going around for a while. So like, it was. So I was surprised to see him out there. I'm like, as a former Cub great, we call him because nobody tells Anthony Rizzo. Nobody puts Anthony Rizzo in a corner, as they say, and he did it that day.
I saw this last night on Baseballer. Did you see what the Yankees fan made for his Rizzo jersey?
No. What?
On the back, it says what I've been calling him for years, Jizzo.
Yeah, we are.
And I was like, yeah, about time.
That guy has jizz on his back.
Someone takes a stand. Real proud.
By the way, I met Anthony Rizzo's dad one time.
Yeah.
The man is like 5 foot tall. He looks like this. He's like a little. He feels like he runs like a little like pizza place out in Brooklyn. I gotta come down to Mariano's. We got the best buffet. That's what the guy's like. I'm like,
have you seen Departed?
And I'm just like, wait.
Let me get him, boss. Let me get him, boss. Let me get him, boss.
Yeah. And I'm like, your genetics made that guy. You know, I'm just like. I'd hate to. I kind of want to see what the milkman looks like. Let's just put it that way. Very strange.
Well, you didn't know that Anthony Rizzo's mom is a horse, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, it must have been
That was
her side of the family.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he got a step stool and figured it out.
But no, it's like your bullpen. I'm looking at the ERAs here: 4.13, 6.23 for Wilson, then Diaz at 5.55. That's not great for a closer.
Here's the thing: those numbers are so inflated.
Like if you isolate some, When you look at those numbers right there, if you're going across the whole season right now, it doesn't look great. But if you can just isolate those few bad weeks or outings that they had, it would really deflate those numbers.
Like one bad outing a month can totally inflate that, make it look like dog shit. But then when you look at for the month, like we talked about last week for the month of May, they were top 10 in a lot of categories across all of baseball. Some top 5 for relievers. So, I mean, like Nick Martinez, that ERA is inflated 4.13 as a reliever. Oh God, Chili. As a reliever in the month of May, he had 8.95 ERA. As a starter, it was over 6.
Yeah.
So where do we meet? Nowhere close to the middle. 4.13 ERA. So, oh God. We're good. We're doing it.
So yeah, I mean,
An audible groan from the crowd.
It's always funny, like when a guy like on opening day goes out there and gives up like 8 runs in an inning, and then like the rest of his first half is just bringing that thing down to a respectable 3.8.
Exactly, and getting like baseball players like hitting above the Mendoza line. It's a bit fickle, like those lines initially.
Yeah, you're looking for the big sample size, to make it happen, but. I mean, you guys are from me seeing you these last 2 weeks or these last 2 weekends.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It hasn't been. Let me just put it this way. Your bunch of like non-household names beating our somewhat household names makes me think that the way that you're putting together your teams in systemically from your entire system is going better than the way we're trying to do it.
Yeah.
Which we've got, like Joe's in the room here. How many years has Joe been yelling in my ear, gotta play the kids. Gotta play the freaking kids. What are we doing? Play the kids. So they bring up a guy like Pete Armstrong. Now it's going to be like hit and miss with a dude like that. Young guys, But what he brings to the team, the speed and the excitement and the sort of energy that he has in center field, he's backing up every play. Is he going to make rookie mistakes? Absolutely. But seeing your guys get the opportunity to do it, how old is Ellie right now?
22.
22! Dude!
PCA's 22.
Yeah. Our guys are getting their ARP mail delivered to the clubhouse. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, they won't give these dudes a chance. We're stuck with Ian Happ for 2 more years. We're stuck. No matter what he does, we're stuck with him. No trade clause.
Yep.
We're stuck with Seiya Suzuki no matter what he does. And I kind of like these guys. These are above average players. But you're blocking them with belly too. And the fact of the matter is they'll never give a 22-year-old kid a chance. Like, they're not going to come up from AAA until they're in their mid-20s at the very least, until they've had so many at-bats at the minor league level. And you guys are just doing it differently. And you're beating us.
Yeah.
And
so
you guys,
the proof is right there.
And you guys set the format back 2015, like when your guys were first budding and coming up, and it just seems to be like it's flipped for you guys. And like now we have guys that are coming up just through the system that, a couple years ago, no one knew Spencer Steer. No one, he didn't come through the system.
No, that was the Tyler Malley trade.
Yeah.
Where we got CES and Spencer Steer for 2 starts of Tyler Malley.
That's we
fucking fleeced him. You got crawled, dog. We got him.
And like, I got to bring up Jed Hoyer here. This guy, he really hasn't fleeced anybody.
No.
I mean, the only seemingly good deal that he's made so far, and it's still too early in the deal, is Imanaga seems like a steal.
Yes.
It really could be. But that would be it. I mean, I can't think of any other kind of deal this guy has made, like Dansby Swanson. Not really. Ian Happ locking that up. I was just complaining about that 5 seconds ago. So, like, it's just like, and guy after guy that they don't trust. Like, Christopher Morel could not get in a lineup last year.
No, and that was insane.
We broke camp last year with 2 outfielders for no reason. They had Canario. We're not going to play him. We're just going to put Trey Mancini out there for reasons.
Yeah.
Decision after decision, you got to wonder, well, I'm running out of people to blame because that guy, when is he going to lose his job is what people are wondering. But when that dude does lose his job, now what? Now the new guy's going to come in and replace everybody and do it like how he wants to. So, I don't know. It just seems like you guys have a trajectory.
Yes.
Where we are like, nope, this is it. This is what we're doing. And if it doesn't work, well, I don't know. Just keep buying tickets, I guess. You know,
21, Dick Williams left, at the beginning of the season. And then Nick Kroll was GM, and they promoted him to president of baseball ops. As soon as he took over, he crafted a team that could, one, be cheap, and be young and sustainable. And so that's when the fire sale, after 21, they're like, well, a lot of people are walking. This was Dick Williams throwing a bunch of money at the wall in 2020, being like, all right, we made the move for Bauer, and then let's just see what happens. And then a global pandemic stopped that from being an awesome Red season. But alas! 2022, fire sale starts, and they completely rebuild. And within that rebuild, the culture changed, and they put systems in place that were never there before. Pitching development programs based with a lot of tech. Same with hitting and catching. And it's all built in through Bell and Kroll working hand in hand together to build a sustainable winner starting from low A all the way up to the bigs. Same program, streamlined, so you can develop in-house and keep it rolling. Similar to what the Rays do. The Rays, fun fact, spend the most money in tech in baseball. Because no one wants to go play in that fucking dome. It's trash. But that's what they're good at, and Nick acknowledged that going, if we can't spend money on free agents, we can't buy power, how do we do it and keep it sustainable? We do it all in-house. And that's what they've done. They didn't go out and throw money at Dansby Swanson. They went, okay, what shortstop options do we have here that are going to be sustainable? Oh, look at this Ellie De La Cruz kid we signed when he was 16 for $9.
Yeah.
It worked out. A lot of it has been a lot of luck, too. Hey, the development has worked, and it's worked out, which is very rare. But, that's what they've done and built. And you guys don't have that as much since Theo left.
Well, we say we have it.
You say you do, right.
They've got this guy Carter Hawkins who is a pitching wizard. And I will say a lot of the pitching that's coming through has been good. And the pitching's hard to find, So a lot of this is coming up and it's just starting to emerge now. So I would say from that development standpoint, they've done a pretty decent job, and that's something we never did before. So it's nice to see. But once again, not on all cylinders are we. We're not firing on all cylinders. No. So it's they won't give the kids a chance to see what they have. We do have this guy Canario. He's blocked by Hap. We got. So now you're gonna maybe use these guys as trade pieces to try to get what we might need coming up.
Exactly.
So it's built a little bit differently than you guys, but once again, you're beating us.
Yeah.
So, we have the same record.
Yeah, and we have one arm tied behind our back. We're missing, it's Marte. Mm-hmm. We're missing CES. We're missing McLean, dude. And McLean has been the guy that we've talked about all offseason. Lock him up. He's going to be the real deal forever. And now it's looking like his health is just constantly going to be in question. Hopefully that changes by next season. But, without those pieces, and we're still beating you.
Yeah.
When we're at 100%, this team is still going to be pretty gross. And the only glaring flaw is probably, it's a nitpick too. It's Lucas Sims not being consistent, again, in a high leverage role, which is tough. But just having another eighth inning guy in the pen that you could rely on.
Yeah, and maybe one more big bopper bat, for right field or something.
Yeah, which then you kind of hope that CES becomes that when he gets back.
Yeah.
Because his hand was, what was it, the static?
The beef claw, what do we call it? The beef foot?
Yeah, his Malort hand.
Malort hand.
His Malort hand.
His Malort hook.
Malort hook.
I saw Malort coming in on the ashtray.
Oh, there we are. They serve them in ashtrays if you don't remember.
Yeah, I gotta get some Malort in this to sloshel around to get the excess chili off.
Yeah, you're almost out of chili. We almost need to wrap this podcast up.
Yeah.
Chris is moving a little slower on his chili bat, I'll say. He's got the Wrigley bat, and Billy's got the Reds bat. I feel like it slides a little better out of that Reds bat.
I think so.
I did notice that the bats are totally different qualities. Wrigley's bat seems, I don't know, it seems smaller. Is it shorter or is it longer or just thinner or like what are we looking at?
It's a little taller. The
It's
Cincinnati
taller
bat
and thinner.
The Cincinnati bat is typically going to be thicker, and it's going to bunch up at the bottom here, but don't worry about that. That's totally normal. It does have what's very critical here is like it acts as a koozie. It's a grip, but it really helps because it's difficult to take down these beer bats in a timely fashion, so you can be working against the elements with heat. That's pretty good. And get your bats checked out regularly.
I'm telling you, it's keeping my chili room temp. It's doing such a good job. Oh, yeah, I'm under the handle. I'm pretty close here.
Under the handle.
I love the audible ew.
Reds bat is absolutely much higher quality than the Wrigley bat's got. It's like a foam little grip you've got on this thing. Yeah.
Also, it says something about both of our offenses, you know?
Exactly.
The Cincinnati bats always
I know.
better, baby. Oh, God.
Cincinnati seems to be a higher quality product.
Yeah, it's weird, huh?
Than the Chicago Cubs right now. And our bats are following suit.
Yeah.
Normally, notice that the Cubs bat does not say Cubs, but it says Wrigley Field, which I believe is currently our number one attraction.
Yeah.
Just the field.
Yeah.
Grounds crew, Wrigley Field.
They don't even advertise games. They're like, Dead & Co. will be back soon.
Hey, we got Ivy.
Wilco.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just all Eddie Vedder bats.
Yeah.
It's the best-selling jersey you guys have is Eddie Vedder.
Eddie Vedder. Yeah.
Yeah,
Buy
there
that.
we go.
Fucking love it.
So
Oh,
I
yeah,
will say
totally
this
fine.
about just, getting back to a little bit of the baseball. Our guy Justin Steele did a nice job last night.
He did.
So, I'm going to take something and spin it positively a little bit, even though we lost the game. Like,
Guy's good. I mean, also the Reds can't hit lefties either. So watching him work was impressive. Mostly 2 pitches last night. 44 fastballs, 39 sliders, 7 changeups.
Yeah, I don't know what they're calling a changeup. I didn't know he had a third pitch, to be honest, and he
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
He didn't throw a single one of them for a strike. I see. So
Oh, he threw a few. He threw 1, 2 down the pipe, 2 down in the strike zone. See, you got one center.
Okay,
then,
I'm looking at it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. He's got 2 pitches. He's a 2-pitch guy, and it's been working for him. He had up until a certain point, he had a Cy Young kind of campaign last year until the very end. And, we were kind of counting on him to be at the top of the rotation. Now he got hurt right away, opening day. He got hurt, and so he's working his way back from that. He's obviously a talented pitcher. Old for a rookie because he had Tommy John twice. Is he one of the twice
You just
guys?
don't want that third time.
Yeah, exactly. Because then they actually don't take a cadaver tendon anymore.
Yeah.
They take it from a live person. Like
And you don't know if it's going to be you.
And you don't know. Yeah. Bring him in the room. No.
They actually take it from your thigh.
Yeah. So Steele, 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, but really not his fault. It's a shame that those 1 walk, 7 Ks, pitched really well. The problem with our situation right now, we have the most expensive washed-up long men in the major leagues between Drew freaking Smiley and who
Kyle
they just love
Hendricks.
this guy for some reason. I don't not get it. Like, we're throwing nothing but junk at you at the end of our bullpen. Like, here comes Drew Smiley with a sweeping curveball at 80-8. Like,
Good luck.
this sucker. And then they'll put Kyle Hendricks out there who's been demoted. They're like, oh, here's 89, bro.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can catch up with this. They're like, we can, though. Like, it's
we
called
got it.
batting practice, man. Like, we do this all day. It's just weird coming in the 8th.
Well, the difference is between, we can do that with Nick Martinez. We can have him come in and throw 9 different junk pitches. Is because before you get to him, there is someone throwing in the high 90s.
Yeah, they reversed it, so it looks super slow now.
The dynamics of it, and also too with Martinez, he does have a different game plan. He's throwing all these different pitches at you.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the curveball, changeup, slider. That when the changeup's working, it's over. But what I'm saying is, to start off, you don't have crazy high velocity to be able to do the bait and switch.
Yeah, no, it's just all this kind of middling crap, dude. Like, it's like, as I said, it's the good enough gang. You know, that's what Eric Wheelo, our friend, our Brewers fan friend, always was his complaint about the Brewers. And Craig Counsell. Now we got Craig Counsell, and we're the good enough gang. And it's just like everybody's just good enough to kind of hang around. And maybe they get above 500 at some point and get that second wild card spot. But, man, oh, man, it does not look... It's not feeling like our year.
No,
it's just not feeling like it.
So here's a question for you. I know that you Cubs fans are notoriously patient and very level-headed.
Oh yeah.
You know, very mild-mannered.
Yeah. Nothing but logic.
Nothing exactly. Have you guys want to take counsel to the gallows yet? Have you guys has the rumblings started already?
No.
Or are you guys actually patient?
No, I think we're going to be a little patient with Craig. I mean, I think what we're wondering is now, because we blamed a lot on David Ross last year.
Yeah, you did.
And we called him big, dumb, and bald. And we said some things that maybe we regret now a little bit. Because when we see the results be the exact same under Craig Counsell as they were under David Ross, then you're like, oh, maybe it wasn't the dumb bullpen decisions. It was the dumb bullpen. It was actually the people that are on the team that are the problem.
Yeah, you can't get out there and throw in bat for them.
Yeah, exactly. And what do you want him to do? You know, Craig Counsell, I mean, he's had proven success with the Brewers, but he never did get them to the mountaintop. So, like...
They were 1 out away.
Yeah, but everybody wanted this guy, though. Everybody wanted him, and everybody was shocked he didn't go with the Mets. And, like, it was a shock to us and the Brewers that we ended up with him, paid him a lot of money. So I haven't seen really success from it or necessarily failure from it. It's hard to quantify manager wins and losses. But, you know, I think we'll give him at least this year.
Yeah.
I do. I think Cub fans will be a little patient because if this was a mistake, we're fucked. You know, because what's the contract? 5 years?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, $8 million. Most of the managers have been paid.
Yeah.
He's making more than half the team, dude. Like, so, you know, this has got to work. So we're going to be patient to a point until we start, you know, being done with it.
You also don't see a full program take place in what they do after a year. It takes about 2 to see some results happen.
Let him work.
Yeah,
you gotta let them.
Let them figure it out.
But you see that they promoted, unlike the Cubs, they promoted their bench coach. The Brewers did.
Yeah.
And they're in first place. So Pat Murphy, like, he's coming through that system. Whereas the Cubs are like, hey, we'll just buy the best guy, see what happens. And, you know, it's maybe not as simple. I think the Cubs are doing it kind of at two different approaches.
Do we just get heckled by Keel from the security camera?
Is that a ring camera?
Yeah.
All right.
We're getting shut down by the FCC. We've said too much.
I drank too much chili.
So the answer is, I think we'll be patient, but, you know, because we have no choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. I think Reds fans have just been beyond patient with Bell. Think about it. He got hired in 19. They tried to go for it in 20, and then a global pandemic happened, which was totally his fault. 21, try to stay afloat, and then 22 tear down. Last year and this year have just been like the uptick. So I think it's finally letting him be at the controls where no one's really bitched too much about it.
No, I think, now is the time we can actually, like, quantify David Bell's career and get a better idea of what, like, the back of his managerial card's going to look like. Because I think the first few years was kind of a wash for him. And just knowing that the hand he got dealt in the 2022 or 2020 season. So now that we're having, like, these young kids that just came into the fold and seeing, like, how they're developing, it just seems to be the same path and trajectory with, like, David Bell is.
Yeah, 100%.
He's a Nepo baby, too, so he's got that kind of, you know.
All that fucking phone money, you know?
Yeah.
The bells.
Ma Bell got the miscommunication.
Oh, there it is. Well, you know, there's going to be some stuff we'll hang on to for Monday. They're more Reds focused, but let's look at the next 2 coming up. So today, we will stumble into Great American Ballpark and see Ben Brown versus Andrew Abbott. Have you seen Abbott before?
I think, did he pitch last week? I guess I don't recall.
It was Ashcraft.
It was the day.
Yeah, was it? Yeah, I think I'm mixing him up with Ashcraft. I don't know that we saw Abbott.
Ashcraft.
They saw
Hunter,
Green.
and Montes. Montes.
Yeah,
Montes is
something like
tomorrow,
that.
I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frankie's on the bump tomorrow. So you haven't got to see him. He's just a bulldog, dude. Lefty, top of the zone.
Nah, we're fucked, yeah.
94, exactly. Lives up there and then drops his changeup or slider and it just falls and disappears.
We're getting pizza today. That's all I know. 11 strikeouts. We're getting pizza.
Pizza.
I know. I was disappointed. It Cubs struck out 7 times in the first 3-4 innings, and I'm like, oh, we're getting pizza so bad, and then nothing. They just started popping it up.
Yep.
Like, dude.
There are some dipshits at this table who bet the under on strikeouts yesterday, and it really fucked.
Yeah.
It's fucking me.
You fool.
Don't gamble. Don't
Lodolo?
gamble. Yeah.
Lodolo, yeah, and so Ben Brown, his first start, he had 19 strikeouts.
Ben Brown, yeah, I mean, this
That's
guy,
his name, right? The guy who's starting today?
Well, yeah, Ben Brown he's a rookie. We got him, I believe, from Philadelphia. And, he's been back and forth between the pen and also starting.
Sure.
Mostly because of necessity.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are clamoring for him to kind of stick in the rotation because hey, that's just more innings you get of Ben Brown. And it's been going well for him, so why fix it if it ain't broke? But I think they will. Probably everybody's like, yeah, they should do this, but what they're gonna do is move him back to the pen and and mess with him, and we just have a lot of these back end multiple inning. Maybe they're a starter. Maybe Javier Assad, who pitched yesterday, is another one of those guys.
The swing.
Who he could be a swing man, but they gave him the job because of injury. Now he kind of played his way in. Maybe he's playing his way out now. It's just the whole back end is like that. The Brewers were built that way for years with a bunch of back end dudes who they didn't really. They had a 1 and a 2, and then 3, 4, 5 was this nebulous piggyback thing. And I think that's kind of what Ben Brown is right now because he's young. He's probably on a pitch count. He's probably going to be a 2-time through the order guy. But he's talented. He's talented for sure.
Yeah,
big curveball.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Big curveball, nasty there. So and then Sunday we got Frankie versus Shota. Shota's first time at Great American Ballpark. If I'm a Cubs fan, I'm worried. It's gonna be nice on Sunday.
Yeah, you're worried that he's going to give up some bombs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think the boys are gonna light him up.
Yeah, I hope so too. I can't remember. Is he a lefty or righty?
He's a righty.
Righty. Okay, yeah, I feel good about that then.
Yeah, that helps because then you can get Will Benson or Jake Fraley back into the lineup.
Yeah, and they've been swinging the bat pretty well too. So keep them hot.
Yeah, it's Willie B time, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just saw Shota. We just talked about Shota not kind of being on his game since they rested him,
Right.
for no reason.
And so then he goes to the bandbox here, where it's going to be nice out. The balls are going to be flying. They're going to be covered in chili.
Well, and Shota being new to the league, I think people didn't know what to expect from him, so they didn't know what he was throwing, so they flailed like Bugs Bunny at it. And now there's a bit of a book on him, so now he needs to adjust back to what the league's going to try to do to him. So
yeah, I mean Yamamoto had a rough start, and then he figured it out. And I watched the condensed game of the Dodgers Yankees last night, and he figured it out quick. He's got 9 different pitches. He can fuck you many ways.
that helps.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gross, and I'm.
And you're saying that with a chili bat in your hand. It's gross.
It's gross.
It's all
that offends me.
All relative, yeah.
Take it down.
This
Yep.
is the last of it.
Throw it down. Throw it down the
birthday
Billy
bat.
chili hole. Silly Billy, happy birthday!
Chris needs to step off.
Oh, dude, I don't think it's happening. I'm gonna need to call a reliever here. Holmes, you ready?
It's gone.
Yeah,
I did
good
it.
job.
I'm a man of my word.
Hell yeah, Billy.
Well, I'm gonna shit myself at the ballpark.
Me to bring your own bidet. The travel bidet.
Yeah, right by the fry box. Dude, if they advertised at the ballpark that a certain section had bidets,
Ooh, yeah, that'd be the longest line in the ballpark.
just see some boomer this drinking fountain's weird.
It tastes like mint, though.
Okay.
I pay for seasoning with my bidet. What flavor you got there? Cool mint.
Oh, this is like a Hawaiian punch.
Well, yeah, Hawaiian punch your asshole there.
So, all right, before we wrap this thing up, I have to tell you guys a story from last night.
Okay.
So I'm in the Diamond Club. It was awesome. It was so much fun. But I go into the bathroom to pee/vape. And I get in, and there's a normal stall, then there's the handicap stall that's huge. And I hear a radio go off like, chirp, 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 chirp. And then I hear, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I just start vaping, and then the guy goes, oh! And I look over at the stall, and I shit you not, this guy was struggling so much so that he took his pants all the way off and had them next to the door of the stall. This guy was down to the socks, bro. Just,
He did a reverse top George Costanza. Instead of taking off the shirt, he's taking off the pants.
took off the pants. Like,
These trousers need to be removed.
I'm afraid I'm gonna get something on him. Oh my God.
They're in the splash zone.
Splash zone. And then I look over and then I see a cane against the wall too, and I'm like, oh no, this shit might kill this man.
Gonna break his hip.
He already has a part where his bottom half don't work well, and now there's another part of the bottom half that might kill him. So I go out and I am biting my lip, and I go up to Alicia and I was like, babe, you're never gonna believe this. There is a man dying in the bathroom. And she's like, I wish I could go in there. I'm like, yeah, you gotta get a dick or something. And then I go back about 15 minutes later to pee/vape, and on my way there's like a glass, there's like steps to go up and then to go up to your seats, and there's a little bit of a place where you could kind of relax and sit, and there's some glass. I figured out it was the guy in the stall was this guy right here, because there was the cane, and I recognized the pants even though they were on. And he had both arms up on the railing, leaned back, sweating, going, ah! And there's somebody else from security's like, are you okay? And he's just like,
Oh, I finally blew it out.
I finally did it. And this guy was working security. So after I saw that, I felt cool vaping anywhere down there. So that was my story from the ballpark.
It was fireworks night, so.
Brown fireworks night, baby. Friend of the pod, John Holmes' favorite thing, the fireworks, is just sitting with him watching them. And he stands up and claps after the fireworks, and he goes, "Oh wow, hey!"
Another one.
Holy, like he's surprised they're still doing it. Oh, God damn. Did he do that last night with you? Because I wasn't with him.
No, he was right behind me, so I wasn't watching John. I was looking at the fireworks. Now I know to watch John instead of the fireworks.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I didn't know.
Honestly, it's a better display.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
He was right behind me, unfortunately, so I obstructed view like a terrace reserve seat at Wrigley.
I did that once. Not fun. Well, let's round third and head for home / go to Great American Ballpark and refill this thing with more chili.
Should I play a song?
Huh?
Want to hear a song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap this, break this all down, and then we'll get that rolling.
Yeah, cool.
Listen, Danny, make some tunes.
Dude, Danny,
I'll sing a song.
plugs,
Sing
baby.
2 songs because we're late for the game now. It's almost 3.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Wrap it up. Okay, what do you have to plug?
Son Ranto Show. If you like the Cubs and not just a boring old show, we do the Son Ranto Show. We also have the Bleacher Bum Band, which is I'll play one song from the Bleacher Bum Band called "Rob Manfred Hates Baseball." But we got 2 records on anywhere you stream records, so you should listen to that. There's a lot of great videos. Joe actually made a lot of videos for
Yeah, you have.
the
They're
Bleacher Bum
great.
Band songs. They're all on TikTok and stuff. At least 55 seconds at a time or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Time limits.
Yeah,
Really
exactly. So
fucked me again.
check all that stuff out. But thanks for having. I love the new Nasty Boys.
Oh, thank you.
So glad these guys came out to Rancher Fest and helped me throw a really killer event last week. We raised over $2,000 for the Lost Boys, which is youth baseball organization, and I just couldn't be happier of how that all went, and you guys made it a really fun weekend.
I'm also glad you said Lost Boys because it's like the baseball organization, not the boys that are in my basement. They're very
look for
different. You didn't raise $2,000 for me to keep feeding them and in chains. So
Those
thank
chains
God.
ain't cheap.
No, they are not. And then just all the rashes they get.
I know.
Yeah.
They got their own water dishes now, too. All these regulations.
We raised enough money to put their names on the side of them. Jeremy finally knows not to drink out of the blue one. Drink out of the green one.
So that was great. We raised plenty of money for that.
Fun. What do you got?
For the Cincinnati folks, July 18th through 21st, I'll be at Go Bananas headlining there. It'll be super fun. Yeah. Gonna have some awesome comics coming out. It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, Cam O'Connor, friend of the pod, in the middle. I'm so excited for that.
It's gonna be a blast. I'm sure we'll have Billy and John Holmes on the show too.
Yeah, we'll fart around.
What about you? What you got?
I have fucking nothing. It's great. I've been so busy that we got to this point, and I'm like, okay, let's look at the books.
Get to chill.
It's just like, dinner one night, a Reds game, a concert.
Be a human being.
Be a human being, which kind of boring, but I'll live.
Weird.
I know it sucks. So shout out to Sports Drink for hosting the audio of this podcast. They are a coffee shop in New Orleans. If you're down there, go check it out. Thank you to In the Clutch. Go to intheclutch.com. Use promo code NASTYBOYS. 10% off. And normally thank you for having me in the fart dunge, but thanks. Give it up for Binski's for Holy. Let us do it. Thanks to Danny for coming
I should
on.
mention, Binski's, they turned me on to this Old Milwaukee, America's non-alcoholic near beer. I did not know that Old Milwaukee. It's freaking good. So I got to shout out to Binski's for teaching me about this thing.
There you go. Yeah, Binski's.
And the Malort and the Astros, which...
And thanks, Danny, for coming on and coming
dude.
here and all this
Anytime.
stuff. And thanks for coming on and being here and being just a great guy.
Anytime, baby.
And thank you guys for watching and listening. And as always, go Red Legs!
Go Red Legs! Yeah!
Yeah, there's the Spagog.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. Let Holmes do that. Shut in my face, dude.
There we go.
Wow, there it is.
Now you're legally my daddy. You're my Cincinnati
Oh,
daddy.
he's still going, dude. John Holmes. John Holmes. John Holmes.
John Holmes. John Holmes.
Damn.
That is disgusting.
I just got owned.
Yeah, that was all. I'm glad we got that on camera. Holy dick in my butt.
All right, that was fun. Danny, you gonna play some tunes here?
Yeah, I'll play.
Yeah.
I'll play a couple songs. I don't.
Yeah. We'll keep it rolling. Here, I'm just gonna keep recording.
What do you want to hear?
Pony by Genuine.
I'll close with that one.
There you go.
No, I think everybody can agree on this one. Rob Manfred likes opening days in winter. Likes baseball games that don't go on too long. Rob Manfred likes more offense from the hitter. Likes juicing up the ball and hitting dongs. Intentional walks with just a finger. And old umpires are always blowing calls. Likes a National League DH. But one thing Manfred hates, Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred likes a pitch clock for the pitches. Likes batters who stay inside the box. Likes lessening the ball drag with lower stitches. And half the teams making the playoffs. Rob Manfred likes pitchers who face three batters. And not paying minor leaguers at all. Likes when catchers don't block the plate. But one thing Manfred hates, Rob Manfred hates baseball. It's true. Yee-haw! Rob Manfred hates baseball. One more verse. Rob Manfred Manfred likes TV deals and blackouts. He likes letting the Houston Astros cheat. He likes out to get prices, leave the fans out, and axing teams out of the minor leagues. Rob Manfred's gonna bring us robot umpires, so CB Buckner can't be told he's wrong. He likes putting money in the bank, but one thing Manfred hates, Rob Manfred hates baseball. Was punching in the face. Rob Manfred hates baseball. He's the one you gotta thank. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna do this one. It's all about this night that back in 2014 when the Cubs, they were pretty bad, and there was one night they were trying to save the bullpen when the game went 16 innings, as they had the backup catcher pitch in a tie game, and his name was John Baker. We ended up becoming friends because of this song that I wrote. I was at the game. We got kicked out, actually. It's a long story, which you can kind of hear about in this song, so I'll just play the song. But this is, John Baker's now the farm director for the Pirates, of all teams. And anyway, this night he pitched in the game and got the win. So wrote a little song. It's got a little audience participation as well. The night the backup catcher got the win, I showed up down at Wrigley with a belly full of gin. I knew it would be a long one. Edwin Jackson was pitching. The night the backup catcher got the win. Edwin Jackson only lasted 4. The game was tied for 12 more innings. Nobody could score. We went to Captain Morgan's cause we wanted to drink more. The night the backup catcher got the win. The night the backup catcher got the win, got the win. The night the backup catcher got the win, got the win. Sat in the upper deck with 3 of my best friends. The night the backup catcher got the win. We went just outside to have a smoke, but as we stood beyond the gates, Captain Morgan's closed. We got left outside and we couldn't get back in. The night back to the backup catcher got the win. I fucked up, you know. I get nervous sometimes when there's cameras on me. Well, we were 3 sheets to the wind and overserved, and we couldn't get back to our seats in upper deck reserved. So we watched the game from the dugout on Addison. The night the backup catcher got the win. The night the backup catcher got the win. The night the backup catcher got the win. I got sick outside of Wrigley from mixing beer and gin. The night the backup catcher got the win. Well, then as the story goes, John Baker, the Cubs' backup catcher, took the mound in the top of the 16th inning, and he pitched a scoreless frame. He even induced a double play. Then in the bottom of the 16th inning, John Baker came to the plate and drew a walk. Then he got to third base somehow. What do you expect me to look it up? I got time for this stuff on Baseball Reference. At which point, Starlin Castro hit a sacrifice fly, winning the game. John Baker finally won it in 16 on the most exciting sac fly this baseball fan has seen. But I sort of missed it. I was drunk as Charlie Sheen. The night the backup catcher got the win. The night the backup catcher got the win. The night the backup catcher got the win. They threatened us with handcuffs when we tried to sneak back in. The night the backup catcher got the win. The night the backup catcher got the win. The night the backup catcher got the win.
Danny Rockett, everybody!
Thanks, everybody. We got to do one more, though, and you guys got to sing along.
Yeah, we got to do this. This is a big one.
So one more hour and I'll be home. Close my eyes and rest my bones. Can't be more than a mile or so from Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, where the river winds across the Mason and the Dixon line. Heaven waits for me, I know, in Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, do you guys know the second verse, or is it like Go Cubs Go that nobody knows the second verse?
She knows it.
I guess perhaps.
She knows it.
Too strong. There we go.
Wait, I guess perhaps.
Yeah. I guess perhaps the memories got too strong. Grabbed me by the heartstrings and pulled me home. Got to thinking about some friends I know in Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, Ohio. Verse 3. I walked halfway from Louisville.
It's never happened.
There she lies at the foot of the hill, shining like a jewel in the valley below in Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, Ohio. Take it to the bridge. Cincinnati, where the river winds across the Mason and the Dixon line. Heaven waits for me, I know, in Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, Ohio.
There we go. No verse 4. We did it.
Yeah.
Let's go watch some baseball.
Let's go watch baseball.